Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. We have unfortunately been a little sick in our household over the last few days. I think it's just a cold, but it's kind of lingering a little bit and we're all just not feeling 100%. I think we have entered the immunity building world that is playgrounds for children. So that's where we're at right now. And I just really want a few days of just kind of like resetting my house and doing some things that make me feel good, make me feel nice and cozy. And I thought I would just bring you along for a few days in my life of just a little bit of a reset and just getting things in order. If you're new here, my name is Robyn and I live here on the south coast of New South Wales, Australia with my partner, our 2 cats and our almost 1-year-old baby boy. And we grow a lot here. We grow a lot of flowers, a lot of herbs, a lot of food. And I really want to make sure that I am getting as much out of the garden as I can and into our diets for this time when we don't feel 100%. So I'm going to try and make some good food over the next few days, or at least just try and use things that are in the garden because I know it's all organically grown. It's very healthy, 0 pesticides or anything like that, and it's just going to be good for our bodies. Unfortunately though, there's not too much in the garden right now that is ready, but over the past few days I've been harvesting a little bit here and there, so I'll include that in the video and just see what we can make. And I also just really want to get my house sorted, so I need to do just a bit of tidying, a bit of organizing, and just a few things that make me feel good. Like I said, I really want to get reading some more of my book because that is really making me feel a lot better. I just want to tidy up some of the rooms because it is absolutely chaotic in there after we moved some rooms around and things just need a good refresh and tidy. I would love to get some exercise in over the next few days and also just be present with my son. I need to be there to comfort him and to make sure that he is feeling good and feeling well because it has been so sad over the last few days to see him not feeling well. And navigating all of that was a little difficult, but I think we are on the other side now, and hopefully over the next few days Scott and I can feel a little better as well and we can move on from this little cold that we've had. So I hope you enjoy today's cozy vlog, and if you do, make sure to give it a like or leave me a little cozy emoji in the comment section so that I know you enjoy these videos. I think the first thing I need to do is hop back inside and make myself a cup of tea and then do a little bit of tidying while Grayson is down for a nap, and then we'll see what else we can get done today. That is after I get a little bit more fresh air because it's so nice today. It's nice and cool, thankfully, after those really hot days. And I really want to enjoy these last few cool days that we have. Only a short nap for Grayson this morning, which is fine. You must have heard me talking about his nap, but I'm having this tea. This is my special tea that was a gift, and whenever I feel a little bit sad or sorry for myself, I usually go for something really nice and take out the nice teas. So this is what we're having today with some lemon balm in there as well to add a little bit of extra vitamins. So this is the realities of motherhood. I fully intended on doing like a bit of a tidy up and just a few things around the house, but as you saw after I gave him some milk, that didn't happen. Just not today. It's not happening today. He's just not feeling it, and that's okay. We've come outside to look at all of the birds instead. I was going to go on a walk with him in the pram, but then it started raining, so we're choosing to do a walk in the rain with the umbrella in the garden instead to get some fresh air before he probably goes down for another nap, and that's totally okay. We'll get stuff done later. It's not a big deal. Despite some days like these ones that I filmed for this vlog in particular being incredibly hard when looking after a sick baby when I'm not feeling fantastic myself, I still do think that these are some of the best days of my life, and I think I am really going to look fondly back on this period in my life, and I really want to cherish all of the small moments that I get with my son at home. There are so many jobs that I do day in, day out that I previously didn't attach any importance to, like just tidying up the house, making sure things are nice and clean and tidy, making sure everyone has nutritious food to eat, and making sure that all the clothes are washed. All of those kinds of things I didn't really hold a lot of importance to because Scott and I really shared that load and it wasn't really a priority to me. However, now having all of the time that I do have during nap times, I try and frantically get everything done during those times, like I am in these few clips here. And although it's hard, it really does make me feel better and just make my brain a little bit clearer when I have the house tidy. Something that motherhood has definitely taught me is that you can't have it all in terms of always filling your cup. There has to be things that you need to do beforehand before you can do that. And that's what I try and do a lot of the time, which has just made my life so much easier, is doing a quick tidy up, but thinking to myself that there will be time throughout the day that you can relax and that you can rest and have some me time. Clearing up the house like this, whilst I don't do it every day, I wanted to make it a priority for this day in particular because I was just feeling so horrible about my space. It really helped to clear my mind, and then later in the day I prioritized some time for myself. You'll see I do some gardening later. And later that day, I had some relaxing time. I could read my book and do things like that, and also get some gardening done the next day. So I've just been reminding myself that although these jobs need to be done, it doesn't mean that later I won't have time for myself, that rather than procrastinating and just doom scrolling on my phone, I can just get a few little jobs done. It really does make me feel so much better. And I always remind myself I will have time, and that way I kind of program my brain to actually prioritizing that time and therefore trying to make it work. I feel like Grayson is about to wake up any moment now, but I wanted to share about the book that I'm currently reading because I absolutely love it, and I feel like this book is going to help me get back into reading. I've talked about it a little bit before and I really don't need my AirPods in anymore. I've spoken a lot about this, that I just struggle with reading. Like after doing my PhD, I just read so much throughout that, and it was all very heavy, intense stuff. And after that, I just always needed something light to like switch my brain off. So I would watch like a lot of reality TV and a lot of YouTube and just things that weren't very like emotional or things that didn't require my brain to use a lot of energy. However, I grew up reading and I love reading so much, and I do love like a little fantasy novel as well, and this one is really, really good so far. I'm only about just over 100 pages in, and already I really like the setting. It's quite cozy, and it's kind of set in a colder environment, which I also really love. Apparently it's a bit slow to get started, which I've really enjoyed it so far, so we'll see where it goes, but apparently something happens in the book that is really great and like is the hook, I suppose, of the book, so I will let you know how I go with this. I really want to get a lot of reading done over the next few days because this is a library book and it is due, and I really don't want to have to renew it again because I've already renewed it once and I just want to get through it. So this is definitely another thing that I like to do on days where I'm not feeling fantastic. It has been hard for me to get back into reading, but it is something that brings me a lot of joy and does allow me to calm down. I can only do it though if the place is quiet and a little bit more tidy, so that's why I did a bit of a tidy up now and clean so I don't have to worry about that for later. And also it's like rainy and stormy today, so that's also a great setting for this book in particular. So yeah, I'm gonna get some reading done while baby is still sleeping and then have just like a little cozy afternoon. We're not gonna go anywhere because the weather's not fantastic to take a sick baby out and a sick mum out as well. We are going to stay in, have some leftovers, make some tea soon and just have a cozy afternoon. Good morning. It is the next morning now. We had a really cozy night last night. I heated up some stew that I had in the freezer so I didn't even have to cook dinner. Had some homemade bread and butter with it and it was absolutely delicious. I usually make like a really hearty vegetable stew, honestly like once a month, and it is just the nicest thing ever and really was just everything we needed. So that was delicious and just had a quiet night. We're having a very quiet morning now. It wasn't quiet before, but it's also raining today quite a lot. It just rained quite heavily now, and Grayson's having his first nap of the day, but I'm trying to just sit with a cup of tea and just take a few deep breaths because my nervous system sometimes, with an almost toddler who is also still a little bit sick and just there's a lot of like emotional and physical demands from me right now to help him and make sure he's okay, which is my job, so I'm not complaining about it. However, it takes a while sometimes in the mornings for me to actually have a little bit of time to breathe and like have some breakfast or have a cup of tea or just get ready or anything. I can usually choose like one of those things throughout the morning, so I chose to like kind of get ready a little bit this morning while Scott had Grayson doing breakfast and that kind of thing. But I'm just kind of struggling a little bit to regulate my nervous system and just calm that like fight or flight mode, because sometimes I don't know the difference between like a baby like crying and a tiger coming at me. The distinction is not quite there in my mind right now and in my brain, so it just signals to me that I need a little bit of time to just settle. We've also got so much going on in like our personal lives in terms of like and other building stuff with our house that we're building. I just got like an influx of invoices from that and that's stressing me out because cost of living is just crazy, as you all know, and anyway, we're going through all of that as well. Annie's obviously not stressed at all. She's loving life right now. The cats just get so cozy and tired during rainy days and I love that for them, so that's nice. But anyway, I'm trying to spend a lot of my downtime just either doing something for myself, like doing some YouTube or relaxing, but I'm also trying to still feel better from this cold that we're all having. Thankfully, I feel so much better today, and I think everyone else does as well. However, I really do want to keep up with just some like nutritious, healthy food. So I think for the rest of today, I'm going to do a little bit of cooking. I actually did some harvesting the other day of some like radish seed pods and some lettuce, so I would like to make a little bit of a salad, maybe some pesto with just some other ingredients that we have. I might go down and pick some parsley and just boost our immunity with all of the herbs that we have in the garden. So that's one thing I would like to do some kind of salad or some kind of pesto. And then I have a bunch of other work to do, like editing and YouTube, and just working on some other bigger projects on the side. So I'm always busy trying to fill my time with all of that. I would love to be able to get some fresh air today, but as you can kind of tell, it is very rainy as the clips I showed before. So we'll see how we go with that. But yeah, I just wanted to do another little check-in here, because sometimes I like to do that and not just have this channel as like a highlight reel or anything like that. Or I feel like Instagram definitely is. I try and show realities on that too, but it is hard. But when I feel like this, when I just feel a little bit down and like my nervous system needs to be regulated, going on my phone and going on social media and Instagram, it just doesn't particularly make me feel great to see other people's highlight reels. So I'm trying to not do that this morning and instead focus on other projects that I'm working on, like lots of writing, lots of cooking ideas, YouTube. I really want to like pour a lot of my time where I can be a little bit more productive into that. Obviously, I still need to kind of keep on top of things in the house. Like we have a the remains of what was playtime this morning from an almost toddler, and washing, and you probably see the table is now full again of stuff that I need to clear. But that's okay, we'll get to that eventually. I'm trying to just really make the most of even like these little mundane tasks and not getting too down, because for a while I was getting very down at all of like the housework and stuff like that, because I didn't align my identity with a lot of like homemaking and that kind of thing. However, I'm starting to like it a little bit more now, if I can really balance it with time for me, like getting out in the garden, doing YouTube, working on other projects and that kind of thing. So I don't even know if like that all made sense of my thoughts right now, because I'm not probably thinking that straight. But anyway, that's just where I'm at this morning, feeling a little bit all over the place, feeling like I need to calm my nervous system in a house that is not calm. So that's fun. This is the part of the video where I really do now get my me time and time to myself. And you all know gardening is my love, it's my joy and my number one hobby. I love being outside and in the garden, and I chose some jobs on this day in particular that weren't too strenuous but really did help fill my cup. And to me, if I also mentally feel well, my body starts to feel a lot better as well. And so I just wanted to do a few things around the garden, like potting up some tomatoes that really needed to go into larger pots. So this is what I am doing here. I like to just use an all-purpose potting mix to pot up all of my seedlings, and I just use recycled pots for this. The two tomatoes that I am growing this year, I'm just growing two varieties, and they are San Marzano tomatoes, which are kind of like a Roma style paste tomato, and Moneymaker. These are the two varieties that I know grow pretty well in my climate. They're not really large. They're quite manageable size in terms of they don't really split too much when we have heavy rains. And I find just they both produce a lot of tomatoes, which is the goal. I want plants that are healthy and produce food is my goal for this season. So I'm just being really gentle and separating all of the seedlings. I'm definitely not planting all of those that germinated. That would be way too many tomatoes. I don't even know if I will plant all of these in the ground eventually, but I wanted to have a few just in case they don't all make it. This is one of my favorite jobs to do, potting up tomatoes. It is just very therapeutic. I also love the smell of tomato plants. I just have so many good memories attached to them. And so this was a nice gentle activity on this day. I also really wanted to get a few seedlings planted, so I have this area of the garden that is very weedy and very messy that I'm in the process of working on, and just wanted to give it a nice refresh with some cow manure to give some nutrients back into the soil. And I'm going to be planting some spring onions in this spot here. This is right next to the back door, so I can just come out really easily and harvest a few for dinners. So I'm just laying some compost down and then some mulch and planting them in. I took it really easy on this day, just making sure to breathe properly and not exert too much energy. I don't want to feel any worse than I already did. However, just the fresh air really did help me on this day, and it also helped to keep on top of all of the seedlings that I need to plant because I have so many, and I just chose an easy one for this day to get in the ground. I like to sow all of these seeds in little clumps and do kind of like multi-sowing of these, and then I can just harvest them like you would buy them at the shops, just in a bunch of spring onions. You can just cut them back at the base and they'll continue to grow, and you can harvest them a few times. This is by far one of my favorite things to grow. Just has so much flavor and adds so much color to your food as well. So these are always growing in my garden. And that's all I decided to do on this day for gardening. Just a few jobs here and there really does help to make a difference and keep on top of all of the planting. Right, it's a few days later now and we are feeling so much better, which is nice. Thankfully, this cold didn't linger too long and we can just kind of move on from it now. The other day I ended up making a garden pesto. This is what I make all of the time. It's like one of my go-to meals when I don't really know what to make for dinner. I pretty much just come out to the garden and see what kind of herbs I have and make a pesto with it. I like to use walnuts as a base for the pesto because they are one of the cheapest nuts that I can find, and they're also really, really good for you. And I just like the taste as well. So I usually add walnuts as a base. I do like to add a little bit of basil, but we didn't have any here at the moment growing or at a stage when I can harvest it. They're all very, very tiny seedlings at the moment. So I did add a bit of basil in, and then I just went around the garden and just picked greens. I just picked some parsley, some collards, some spinach, literally anything green, and added into the pesto. And I just mix it up in a food processor with some olive oil. I add a bit of parmesan in and some salt, and that is pretty much how I make pesto. And then we had it with some really nice pasta. We cooked up some tomatoes and lentils with it, added on a little bit of feta, and it was absolutely delicious. And we've also been harvesting things down from the back of the garden, like some radish seed pods that we've been adding to salads, and just some other random things from around the garden. So over the next few weeks, I'm really going to try and eat as much as I can from the garden to keep up our immunity and all of those beautiful vitamins and nutrients that come from everything that we grow here in our garden, because I truly do believe that it is good for us to grow our own food and just makes me feel better when I'm eating fresh organic ingredients. So I really hope you enjoyed today's cozy vlog. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to give it a like, subscribe, leave me a comment down below. Any kind of interaction that you have with the videos is super helpful. Thanks for being here, and until my next one, have a lovely cozy day. Bye.